Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a gold Reinhardt. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps me out quite a bit. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join the Discord in the description below, see what my rates look like, see what sort of promos, events we have upcoming, all that good stuff. But for now, let's see what our Reinhardt can do on Blizzard World.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Forward, my friends! Forward, my friends! Have your shield!
Okay. A little bit of micro-pathing issues there. Fine. Shield, shield, shield. You don't need to swing when you're not going to hit anything there. Like, you don't need to preserve your shield right now. I want you shielding right here because I know this swing isn't going to hit anything and you have full barrier. So I don't want you... It's okay to go some level of I want to take a little bit of health damage instead of shield damage when you're already missing shield health and you want to preserve your shield. But right now you're closing distance and you close distance with your shield, not with your hammer. Good. Okay. Keep yourself in line of sight. This is not how you fire strike. Fortunately, your Zarya is shielding for you with her bubble. Good. You kind of stepped in front of her right before hers went off, but now you're swinging. Hard shield. I don't really love that fire strike. So here you are. You go here. This is right on the border of acceptable. You've literally just been healed up into range. Okay. And now you're going to push. Don't let them get tempo back. Again, you have plenty of shield here, so I'm not sure why you're pushing with your health rather than your shield. Good. No. This is the Reinhardt dance. This is you doing the back and forth, and it's minor, but you're doing a back and forth here, and you don't do this. You don't do this. You don't do the Reinhardt dance. When you go, I'm leaving cover, you know where you're going. Occasionally as you're leaving cover, something will change your mind, but that thing just changes your mind and changes where you're going, or changes your mind and makes you go back. It doesn't ever make you just back and forth step like this. The only time you just hold your shield up like this is for your team to clear a Widow, or when you need to stabilize. Like, you've done a lot of work, you've traded a lot of health, maybe you've got an elimination, and now you need to shield just standing in the middle of space while your team heals you back up, and then you're going to go back to swinging in a second or two. You don't do any sort of, let me do a left and right dance in the open here. You go, okay, I see that Ashe. That Ashe is annoying. Maybe I want to advance on that Ashe. No, I don't think I do want to advance on that Ashe. I want to go back behind cover, or I want to go, yeah, that Ashe is there. That's annoying. I'm going to continue to fight this Reinhardt, or I'm going to push this Brig. You don't just do this left and right in space thing. If you don't like that this Ashe is here, fine. You can back up. You can rotate your team through. You can push. You can go like this and make the Ashe leave if that's really what you want to do. Or you can go, hey, I'm going to go back here and tell my team to clear the Ashe, or put my shield up at this angle and have my team clear the Ashe, and then I'm going to push. Or you could go, I'm going to suck it up and trust that my team is going to deal with the Ashe while I swing at this. Those are all options. This dance is not one. The best option is, by the way, the pull back and let your team push out the Ashe. There's no need to push into this. You can go, hey, we got a temporary lead. Let's push out the Ashe. Plus, we don't want to push because our soldier is down anyway. Fine. Shield, shield. Why are you fire striking? Okay, you weren't fire striking. I felt a fire strike coming. Why did you shield here? Why would you do this? You have the Zarya bubble, and you know you have the Zarya bubble, because if you didn't have the Zarya bubble, you'd be lying sleeping on the floor right now. This is weird. Hey, that's a lot of Zarya bubble time you weren't swinging during.
The objective is mine!
And then you swing after you're out of armor and burning. Okay. Weird. No Reinhardt dance. No Reinhardt dance. You have 4 people on point. You push up and you stand right here and you swing into the opening, or you stand right here and you swing into the opening. Or you don't just do this I'm gonna dance here thing. You find your cover.
Teleporter online.
I do Fire Strike on CD. Oh boy. Okay. This is fine.
Enemy objective A captured. Escort
You do. So this isn't great. This isn't great. So you're doing a fire strike right here, and the thing about doing a fire strike right here is, okay, well, there's lots of things that he can potentially counter do to deal with you. Are you sure that he doesn't have shatter right now? Because he can shatter you during your fire strike, and there's nothing you can do about it if you do, because you can't cancel a fire strike into shield. So you've got Scorcher. So you've got that issue. If he's any closer to you, he's got the potential to charge you during your fire strike. But even at a more basic level than that, while this one is potentially okay, you don't generally want to fire strike in the open. This fire strike from cover, where you go, I fire strike cover peek, is good. Fire strikes just out in the open like this carry much, much greater risk of I am going to throw a fire strike that is a moving projectile that does 100 damage, and you in exchange are going to throw a bunch of Junkrat spam at me, which does more than that. You're going to Ash headshot me, which does more than that. You're going to Ash headshot, other people, which does more than that. Like the trade that you get for throwing a fire strike, and you can't change your mind if you're getting burst down, means you generally do not want to fire strike in the open like this, unless it's specifically the finishing blow on someone. Like if you're swinging at this Reinhardt and your fire strike is you canceling your last swing into a fire strike, that can be fine. But here we go. Okay.
Move it out.
It's not terrible. You have cover available. You don't know what you're doing. Do you want to push them or don't you? My guess is that you don't, in which case, and by the way, you shouldn't. You just enforce this. You don't need to push into this because you have people back here dealing with the cart. You have people over here. Like, you don't actually want to push out and fight this. You just want to enforce this corner as best you can. If you enforce this corner, they have to push into you because otherwise you get this free cart distance from here all the way up to here. You continuing to push into this, you're not going to be able to earn more space against this team. Like, let's be serious. You're not going to be able to earn from this corner up to this corner against this team. You're not going to force these guys any further back. Just happily enforce what you have. Make it so that they have to get taxed hard if they want to push you back, if they want to stop you taking all this cart distance for free. Once you end is here, you might be able to push up and take another corner from them. But enforce your space. Don't push for more. You're just going to end up giving this up. When you push for more, you lose out here, and then they're able to push you past this and all the way back to this. Yeah, you're just giving away shield here. You're literally just giving away shield. Now you're trading out health unfavorably. Now your fire oh boy. You have 244 health, and you hit a fire strike here. And again, fortunately the Junkrat has turned around, but this Ash can eliminate you from here. This Ash can literally just go, you're gone. Before you complete this fire strike, you're locked into the animation, and before you complete it, this Ash can just be like, tap, tap, you're gone. And she's gonna try. Like that's what she's gonna try to do. That's how this works. It's fortunate that Triana now has a little bit of sightline on you, but you pulled this fire strike while you were in the open. You didn't have cover available, and you pulled it when you didn't have any armor left. And you see the Ash is able to hit you once here because it sometimes when you leave a character, even though you're in the same pause, it rolls forward a tiny little bit here. So this is not great. You want your fire strikes to almost universally be, hey, I'm behind cover. I'm in armor health. I start my fire strike animation by pressing the button. I peek and I throw it. And then as I'm doing my unwind from the fire strike, I'm closing back behind cover. So that if you take a bunch of damage, you can change your mind and go back behind cover early, but you also are going to have cover immediately and going to have your cover back before you can put your shield up, and you weren't pre-damaged. You weren't already missing a bunch of health. You were in armor territory. This, I'm doing it in the open thing, and this might not feel like the open, but this is the open because you can't get behind this faster than you can put your shield up, is just making you vulnerable. And you did this, you were up here doing a bunch of swinging, taking damage, then you come back here, you're not healed back up into armor territory, and you throw this fire strike, or if you had armor, you had like 20 armor, it's not real. This is not where you want to do. Your fire strike should be a from cover thing, not an out in the open thing. And your fire strike should also be a when you have armor thing, because again, you can't change your mind on a fire strike. Other times you can fire strike in the open when you're fire striking through a window because the elimination potential on it is high enough to warrant the risk, or when you're finishing someone off like we talked about, or it's part of a shatter combo, etc., where there's not going to be follow-up damage on you from other people because you've put 3 or 4 people on the floor, those things. But generally we don't want fire strikes in the open. Yeah, she didn't hit the second shot. That was nice. You're still doing the Rhine dance. You're just giving away shield here. There's no reason to let them do this. You can literally just stand here and be like, nope, I'm not letting you take shield damage on me. And you're going to be in a much better shape when the fight actually happens. You being here isn't doing anything for your team. It's, what, giving your Lucio a chance to shoot? Giving you Zarya a chance to shoot? No, Zarya's fine. She's going to take an angle. She doesn't need your shield. It'll be obvious when Zarya needs your shield. It's not now. So you're brawling out here, and this is fine with me, but you have half shield. You had less than half shield a moment ago instead of basically full shield to work with. I'm totally fine that you're brawling out here while your Zarya is nanoed and doing work, though. Good block. I don't really like that fire strike, but you have beads, so whatever. You didn't aim that charge. Let me see that again. Well, okay. Sure. Good. Drop your shield. Let it recharge.
Teleporter online. We move quickly.
Again, totally fine with me if you want to enforce a corner, but you don't really need to be spending your shield to get up here. You can just walk wider to get up here and then go, hey, I'm enforcing this corner. That's what you can do.
Is in my charge. Let us
You don't need to just shield around the corner like this. You don't need to be a firing platform for your soldier, I promise. You don't need to be like, I'm here with my shield so that my soldier can fire through my shield. Your soldier might scream at you that that's what he needs, but he probably won't actually use your shield even if you do. So you're mostly just giving away shield damage for them here when you could just stand right here and just be like, nope, if you push, I'll swing it to you. If you push, I'll swing at you. I enforce this space with my hammer, not my shield. I don't stand like this and give you shield to shoot at. I stand like this. The only time I give you shield to shoot at is if I'm wanting to advance on you. Your shield is a personal tool for you to get from point A to point B, for you to get from one set of cover to a new set of cover, or from you to get to one set of cover to the enemies that you want to swing at, or for you to get from the enemies that you want to swing at back to cover. It's not some firing platform for your team. It is a very personal thing that sometimes your team happens to go along for the ride with and be like, oh, you're going from one set of cover to the other? We'd like to go there too. We'll happily go with you while you're going. And you go, cool, keep up. Your barrier's basically done nothing for you so far. You see this? You're at half health with your barrier, and you should be at full health from your barrier. There's no need for you to have taken any barrier or real damage yet. This is the first time that they should be able to, right here, this is the first moment in this mini engagement that they should be able to put any pressure on you or your barrier. And you can decide, well, I'm going to push up and fight you. I'm going to use my barrier to walk a few steps and then fight you, or you can go, no, I'm going to close the angle a little bit more. But with where this situation is, you're probably going to push up and fight them.
Огонь по готовности! Reality bends to my will! This will heal you.
Understood.
This is not over.
Anyone else want to do their jobs today? Move the payload.
You feel that?
Here it comes!
Okay, this is fine. Drop your barrier just to recharge it. No one's shooting at you. This is fine.
Down!
Fine.
Boss are getting up.
Why? Like, you hit it, so that's okay. Did you know that he didn't have it? But even so, why? Like,
Boss are getting up.
your team solidly has control of this. Your team is going to burn him down. If you go for this pin and he scoots and you miss and you go over here, he's now in this, like, you're still fine, I suppose, but this is just a little bit on this. It's a bit on the needless risk side. Like, you miss this pin and then he has access to your team. Is he going to beat your team? Is he going to find eliminations? Probably not, but there's just not enough benefit to this charge. You can go up and swing at him. You just go up and swing at him. If you were closer to him when you started the charge, fine. I mean, and it's not like that charge was ever going to go wildly wrong. There just
Thank you, my friend.
wasn't really a reason to do it. Not worth the cancel even with the team all there? The cancel. What do you mean for the cancel? The charge cancel? I don't know what you mean by the cancel. I mean, I don't love the charge. It wasn't a throw, and the reason it wasn't a throw is because even if it goes wrong, your team is going to be fine, and you're going to be fine, probably. But it's the sort of thing where if you go swing at him, he's going to get, what, 85 damage in return, and your team is going to take him down just as fast. It was just kind of a needless risk. We can call it a style thing. It's really a little bit wrong, but it's not significantly wrong. Not worth the cancel even with the team all there. If he cancels a me, countercharge. I still don't know what you mean by cancel here. Like, countercharge? Well, he didn't have countercharge. Like, he didn't have countercharge, but even if he... Were you trying to get him to countercharge you? You were trying to get you both to fall down? Oh, were you trying to... Maybe you thought he did have charge, and you were trying to force him to countercharge you so that you both fell down so that your team could take him down while you were double stunned? Is that what you were going for? Okay. That could be okay. You could do that. You generally get a little closer before you tried for that maneuver, and that would be fine. You weren't worried about countercharge. You've lost me completely then. You've literally lost me completely with like you're using this word cancel, and I'm not sure what you mean by it. Like, charging him into the wall was fine. You didn't care if he had it, yeah. Charging him into the wall was fine, but it was a hey, why even bother type thing. Like, it does put you over here. It does potentially mean you compromise your position if he avoids the charge, and then he's closer to your team. Is your team still going to take him down? Yeah. Like, we're definitely splitting hairs over something minor here, but I'd answer your question if I knew what it was, is kind of the answer, unfortunately.
Don't worry, my friends. I have your shield.
But yeah, if you can reword the question, I'm happy to take another stab at that. Okay, so this is again you sort of doing this firing platform for your team thing, and that's not a thing. Like, you just don't need to do it. These guys will find their own cover. They'll find their own angles. Just like you can sit back here if you don't like the damage that you're taking, your team can go, oh, we can sit back here if we don't like the damage that we're taking. Your shield is for you to advance to fight them, and you don't want to advance to fight them right now. You just want to hold this forward space so that the cart can push from here to here. So you're like, hey, I'll hold this forward space, and if you don't push me, the cart is going to get from here to here for free. You didn't care if he had it. Okay. Okay. Let's get back here. Yeah, I agree it was low risk, DeMille. I completely agree it was low risk and that he was going to go down either way and it wasn't really that dangerous. Like it wasn't a charge that was going to get you into trouble. I agree there. I just think the slightly better play was, hey, you should probably just go swing at him. The risk is very minor that you're going to get in trouble, but there is the possibility that respawners, etc., will go catch you if you miss the charge, or that maybe he goes and trades out for someone. But yes, it was pretty minor, and it probably didn't even make sense for us to cover on the grand scale of things. Okay, I got distracted by the conversation. Let's go back to this fight. Here we are. We're just giving away shield because we're not enforcing our corner. Enforce your corner here. Swing, swing, swing. Good. Why are you turning like this? You could have... You're doing it for the bob, but like you really are better here. You actually really are better continuing to be here and continuing to swing and make this really expensive. Get your swing through on 2-3 people. Like this, be out of the Coalescence's range or make the Coalescence turn on just you. That's going to be preferable here. But your team's probably not in this anymore, and they've invested enough ults that that's fine. Yeah, I don't like you backing out here. Good. Good. Works for me. So again, reasonable fire strike to throw, but just drift back this way because, throw your fire strike and drift back this way. Don't drift out further into the open. Again, they're not likely to do damage. It's a May, but there's just no need to trade that. No, this is the Rhine dance. This is the Rhine dance. We don't do this. We are not a firing platform for our team. Yes, I know Soldier happens to be using it. I know Lucio is sort of using it. That's not what we need to do. We can literally just enforce this corner because you're taking away the shield that you have. Remember, your shield broke in this last fight. You don't want to be giving away shield. You want to go, hey, if I'm using shield, it's not so that my soldier can shoot, unless he's specifically clearing a widow or something for us. It is so that I can get to these targets I want to swing at. Do I want to push on these targets yet? No, because it would pull me out of line of sight of my Ana. So I'm just going to go right here and play this angle. If my soldier wants to shoot here, that's totally fine, but my soldier will get his own cover when he needs it. If my Torb wants to shoot here, totally fine, but my Torb will get his cover when he needs it. I'm going to stand right here so that I have a full or most of a shield when I want to push to here to clear this, or when I want to push to here to fight these guys, which won't be until my Ana has better line of sight. Okay. Again, want to be a little more conscious of our Ana's location as we push here. Not the fire strike. It's not. So as we look here, we go for this, and it's not a terribly bad one. Fortunately, they don't have any DPS that are going to punish us for this. The Ashe is back in here, but it's literally just opening us up. We can't change our mind. If during this fire strike, Lucio comes up and boops us out, we can't cancel the threat of the Lucio boop with our shield. Like, we can't go, oh no, I see the Lucio is coming, and I throw my shield up to try to catch the timing to interrupt his boop. If you're swinging, you can. You can swing, and as soon as you've done damage to the Rhine, you can put your shield up. Or you can start a swing and immediately cancel it because you see the Lucio is skating in for the boop, etc. And you do get booped. It's just not a terribly effective one.
Oh, let's break it.
Okay. You don't want that one either, really. Like, now there's the threat of an Ashe over here shooting into you as you're doing that. Like, you want to just swing at this Brig, and when she's down to 100 or less health, when your first swing will do 85, your second swing will do 85, and as soon as you've done the damage with the second swing, the instant you've hurt her, your swing comes from the right, you hit her, you do your second swing from the left, and you drag your screen so that it hits early, and then you cancel as soon as it's done damage to her into a fire strike, and you drag back to the center of your screen to finish her with it. That you can do in the open. You don't open the fight into her with a fire strike. Oh boy. It's fine, no one was looking at you.
Payload is approaching its destination. You're powered up. Get in there.
You're not going to be able to do much with this nano, but that's okay.
Take cover.
Nice hunk of junk.
Excuse me? Did you see him use flash? I doubt it. No, you didn't see this. You have no idea that he doesn't have flash over here. Unless it was calmed to you that he doesn't have flash. You hitting this fire strike is an invitation for him to flash you. Like, it's an invitation for him to flash you. And yes, you know he's going to have to reload, so it's going to be a flash roll fan the hammer. He's not going to eliminate you or anything. But this is one of those reasons that we're not going for fire strikes unless we have cover. We're not going for fire strikes unless it's the finish. Like, that's what we're looking for. So that's why I hit this fire strike thing so hard. So again, we're looking for fire strikes when we have covers. We're looking for fire strikes when they're finishing blows, fire strikes through windows. We're not looking to just use fire strike when we're in the middle of a fight like this, unless it's a finishing blow. Shield, just turn and shield. Yeah, I mean, there's issues with being back here in the first place. We sort of knew the whole time. Like, we pushed back here, we had the nano, that was cool, but we knew if we pushed over here, it was going to be a problem because our nano is obviously never going to have line of sight on us. So if we go back here, like, we really are getting in trouble by being back here in the first place. This is fine. Good. Nothing here. If you want to peek a fire strike through here, fine. But there's really not much else to do back here. And this becomes a thing of, I get it. I get why you want to go after it with your nano, especially if he's paying attention in this direction. But you know that you're not going to have support if you fight back here. And you're a tank that kind of expects your nano's support. So, you know, you can throw a fire strike this way from your cover and then just sort of back your way out and enforce this corner. Unless your team is actually pushed up with you, which they haven't. You do this. Fortunately, you've got your Zarya, but again, you're still not going to have your Ana back here. Yeah. All good. All good. You all want the aggression, and I get why you'd want it, and you guys do ultimately cap. Okay, so we're going to continue here. The biggest things we've seen so far is your Fire Strike usage, which we've hit on quite a bit, your barrier usage, where you just give away shield. You just stand there and are sort of like, here, have my shield, when you're standing in open space, or you're at a corner, but you're standing off the corner as opposed to behind it. So those are the two things that are going to, while it's not like, oh, huge help in this particular match, I can promise you that they are big things that we want to adjust, and they probably will help more in as we continue through this match for making serious gains on Reinhardt. Those are going to be two of your biggest things so far. And let's see where this goes.
Group up here.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective.
Thanks for answering that question, Blah. I
Let's get this done.
wanted to keep the review going.
Enemy contact.
Activated.
This isn't really a great place to stand. Like, you can stand here where you're enforcing this corner, or you can just be like, my Rosario is going to retreat, and you can enforce this corner. You can, throw fire strikes from behind this corner. You can throw fire strikes from behind this corner, but you're sort of in the open here. It's not completely the open, but it's sort of the open. If your Mei's here, you probably want to be standing here, just because it looks like your Mei is going to go for a wall. So you'd want to be here, or even better actually would have been here, so that your Mei and you are at different angles. That's going to be preferable for drawing eyeballs more towards you when you throw a fire strike from here, when you throw a fire strike from here. So this is where you'd want to be right now, not right here. So shield up is fine, but get behind cover. Break the line of sight hard. Exactly. Shield. It was slow to put the shield up.
Mounting power to forward shield.
Group up here.
Right here. You just stand right here. You literally just stand right here and go, no, you're not coming in. We have too many eliminations. You're not coming in. And if you try, I'm going to get to swing at you. And I'm going to get to do damage to you first. And if you turn to shoot at me, my backline can shoot at you before your backline can shoot at me. So I'm safe. And if your backline comes in, they're coming through this zone that you can swing into. You might have to take a step out to swing into them. But, the backline will be right there, juicy and worth it. And the backline, if they don't do that, can't shoot at you because you're swinging from here.
Don't worry, my friend. I am your shield.
Okay. Clear the Discord. Don't peek. Don't peek. Don't do it. Okay, move to the Discord. Lucky you. Just swing. Like, literally, you could have stood right here and swung into the Diva. Why would you be here? Why would you be here? Now you're going to have to hit your counter charge. Or not.
Tattoo visor activated.
Get in there.
Break that for her. I don't know why you're still backing up. Like, she's going to be in trouble. So you needed to already be pushing forward to try to help her break this. And when she gets out of this, you're going to need your shield to help her get out. You're going to be like, hey, I'm using my shield to help pull her back. Interesting. That's fine. Are you using the cover? Don't just stand in the open here. Either enforce this corner or enforce this corner. Don't just stand in the open here. Remember, Reinhardt doesn't exist in open spaces. Reinhardt lives for corners. That's what he's super strong at. He's like, I'm swinging from here. I'm swinging from here. I peek behind my corner to throw a fire strike. I peek behind my corner to throw a fire strike. But you want corners. You don't want to exist in these open spaces here. Good. Again, you could have canceled that last swing, or you could have canceled the second to last swing into a fire strike to take him down faster if you want. Hard shield. Behind the corner. Behind the corner. Good. So you can't just exist with shield forever, and you are in armor territory, and your shield won't hold forever. So you do want to hit a swing on her to relieve some pressure, and then go right back to shielding. So you do put a swing on the Mei right now. No, you put a swing on the Mei. You put a swing on the Mei. You need to put a swing on the Mei. Remember, she doesn't have that much health. She only has 250 health, so 85 damage from a swing is meaningful pressure on her, especially if you can get a swing on her while Zen doesn't have line of sight on you and can't get Discord on you. So, like, when you were back here, you go, hey, I have 600 shield health left, and the Zen's over here. I take my one swing at Mei, and then I put my shield back up, and then I keep kiting. If she keeps chasing, great. Next time I'm willing to take my swing at her, and you'll take a swing on her once some of her frost particles from your first swing have fallen off, so you never actually are in risk of getting frozen. Then you take your second swing at her, and she will ice block at that point, because if she doesn't, any more chip damage will delete her. Hard shield, you're purple. Find cover, fine. You're purple and discorded. What? Why? You just heard Blizzard go off. Why are you charging out? Okay. You have beat health. Now you don't. You heard the Blizzard go off. Had you also heard the trance go off? You hear Blizzard. No, and the trance comes way after the Blizzard, after you've started your charge. This is weird. You have a full barrier, you have almost full health, and you're charging away. The Mei's not that scary. Like, you guys have your Blizzard going. No. You thought it was theirs, but you were watching their Mei. Like, you had your eyes on the Mei the whole time. I get it. I get it. You're. Let's rewind to before the Blizzard. You can see the Mei. You can see the Mei. Yeah, okay. All good. All good. Yeah, and people mix up voice cues. I was just surprised because he could see the Mei for most of that time. So it was like, huh? All good.
Get a load of this.
Objective lost.
Again!
Stop the payload.
Get behind!
This is capped. This is capped.
Objective lost.
They're wrong. You shout at them. You politely but assertively tell them, we're going high ground. We're going high ground. You're Reinhardt. You pick where the team goes. You go up here and you fight for this. If you don't, when you guys push up to here, you'll meet resistance from these guys and you'll get shot in the side of the head by McCree. That's not good. You don't want that. So you clear high ground. You go, we've got this. We force you out. And then maybe they push through here, but that's an annoying choke for them to push through. Maybe they push through here and you go, okay, well, now we have people up here that can take shots down at you. We have people over here that go, hey, our soldier is perfectly happy to rain damage from over here. Maybe we drop and put our tanks here, but our soldier rains damage from here and you push in and our backline threatens you from here while our soldier threatens you from there. And it's great. It's great. The high ground is really important on Blizzard World 2nd. This is going to be tough. Okay. I'm not sure why you're just standing in the open here. Like, again, do you want to go forward or do you want to wait? And I think the answer was you wanted to wait, so you just wait here while your team clears the monkey bubble, the McCree, whatever, and then once they're as cleared as they're going to get, you decide to push. But you don't just stand here shielding. That's just giving away resources. You do have plenty of shield, though, so I'm not sure why you're walking forward without your shield. You let yourself get pre-discorded. You're making your Ana heal you more. Like this is not what you want to do. If you're advancing on them, which is fine, you do it with your shield up. Nope, this is Reinhardt dance territory. This is Reinhardt dance. You are not the firing platform for your team. Better. No. No. Literally a fire strike and force corner. Fire strike and force corner. You do not stand here and just like shield, half shield for your team to do their damage. That is not the point of Reinhardt. That is not the point of your shield. You literally go, hey, if I want to advance and fight, that's fine. If I don't, I will hold my corner. And then when they push me and try to force my corner, I'll still have lots of shield to work with if I need to stabilize mid-fight. Good. You need to hard shield. You need to hard shield. You are discorded. I know you got a good purple here, but like, this is scary. You're discorded and purpled. I do not like this at all. Oof. Oof. You're going to take the swings, and I get it, but... Yeah.
Back and ready for more.
Nothing's gonna stop.
Join me.
Okay. If you're putting your shield up, I think you're ready to push up to Pylon Terrace there. No. No. If you're putting your shield up, it's because you want to push to here, or you want to push to here. It is not to just dance here. It is not to just be like, oh, maybe someone will shoot through my shield. No. No. You don't go, oh, I'm just going to wait here for my team. I'm going to let my Torb shoot through my shield while my team regroups. No, because then by the time your team does regroup, you'll have a half shield. You'll have a third shield, and you'll need to wait to have enough shield to be able to push up to them. This isn't what you do. You're staggering yourself. Now the fight is starting for realsies, and you have half a shield. And look, there's a high noon that having your full shield would be really helpful for. It's like an extra second and a half that you'd survive.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Let's break it. Damn!
I will not give up the fight.
You'd mention Rhine isn't a firing platform. Is it still viable in ranks above gold and hard chokes like Hanamura 0.1? In ranks above gold. In ranks above gold. He's not a firing platform in ranks above gold. He shouldn't be a firing platform at any rank. Like, you can carry with him if you understand he's not a firing platform through gold, but in ranks higher than gold, like Hanamura first, Rhine enforces that Hanamura first choke very well, but he doesn't do it by standing in the choke with his shield up. He does it by standing to the right side of the Hanamura choke and swinging into it, and if people push through it, he'll swing into them, and if they try to push through the right side of it, he's going to go, well, yeah, okay, I'll step over and swing into your back line. If you try to send an Ana through on the right side, a Zen through on the right side, yes, I'll step forward and swing into them, and I'll cleave your back line mercilessly. Anyway.
I'm feeling unstoppable. Don't worry, my friend. No.
Do I mean on attack on Hanamura? I meant on defense. That's what I was talking about. Maybe Donler meant on attack. Oh, so again, Rhine is using his shield to get through a choke. That's fine. Rhine is going, hey, I want to rotate from one side of the choke to the other, and Rhine is using his shield. That's fine. If his team chooses to go with him, and they should, that's great. But his shield is for him. His team is just catching the Rhine bus for a ride there. Okay. So you're choosing not to hold this corner, which just means you're falling back to this corner, which I'm fine with. Shield. You're discorded. Hard shield. Don't do it. Good. Beautiful. Shield. There it is. Been waiting all game for this. Wow. Wow. Really? I'm disappointed. Reinhardt was too slow. Yeah, he tried to do that way too late into the reaction. I figured he'd get it because you were close enough, but he still didn't. Oh well. Not getting punished. Enforce your corner. Please enforce your corner. Don't give them shield. Again, Yusaria doesn't even want your shield. Yusaria wants to take these shots. Fire strike here is fine. Yep. Just push back in for your swing. She doesn't have any frost on you yet. Good. Don't need to swing at that yet. You'll get a window. Again, like, if you do this as habitually as you do, I promise a Diamond Reinhardt will pin you here. Like, a Diamond Reinhardt will be like, okay, if you insist. Like, since you insist on all these fire strikes in the open, I'm just going to hit my pin and pin you into this. Like, they're not going to love it because it puts them inside of your backline, but you're going to get punished for these. You get discorded. You need to clear it. You're doing a bit too much Rhine dance. Again, where are you going? You can't just be backing up. It needs to be, I'm going to a new spot of cover, and your new spot of cover is here. So there shouldn't be a general backup. This should be a, I'm going here to clear the discord, or I'm rotating here to my new set of cover. This cannot just be a generalized, I'm backing up until the discord goes away. Discord won't go away. Okay, tuck. Drop your shield. You're fine. Good. Shield again. No, 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 no. There's a Mei on you. After a single swing, you're looking to shield again when there's a Mei on you. You need to shield for a second or two when there's a Mei so that the frost particles have a chance to fall off. Just how it works. Good. I'm glad you've got it, T-Mill. I felt a little bad about it because I'm showing you all these places where you could be getting punished for it, and then you're not, and it's like, okay, well, this is a little... But yeah, I'm glad you see it. It's fine. This is junk time. Okay. And I think you make a swap here.
Initiating. Ready for battle.
Still Ryan? Okay.
Keep to the plan. Be ready to adapt. You have my thanks. Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Stick together. We will complete the mission.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Mission underway. Prioritizing combat functions.
Okay. That's fine. Very little reason not to have your shield up here when you have the full barrier. Okay, you can drop it if you want. That was never likely to work. Okay, and now you shield again. Not the fire strike, but shield. Just stay behind cover. Get back behind cover. You need hard cover to clear the discord. Good. You know the Kree's here, so what you'd actually like to do is advance your team to clear the Kree. You would like to go, hey, we're going to push the Kree. He is actually the most vulnerable target because he's isolated, and he's also the most dangerous target because he's on an off angle. So you wanted you and your Pharah to go, hey, we're going to try to push this Kree. You, your Pharah, and your Zara, we're going to try to push at this McCree like this, and he's either going to get taken down or he's going to leave. And if he leaves, that's cool. While he's gone, maybe we'll push his team. The McCree! The McCree! Okay, shield up, shield up. No reason not to have it up right now. That shouldn't have happened. Yeah. You basically have to back out. Yeah. Unfortunate. So when it feels bad like that, because there's targets in multiple directions, you're going, hey, we would like to deal with the most dangerous and most vulnerable target first, which is the McCree. Or we would like to clear one group and make the McCree rejoin his group, or make the McCree leave, and then we can deal with the other group. Okay, so you just call for your team, whether you're pushing the right group or the left group first, and you go hard right if you're pushing the right group first. Shield, shield, shield. And now you need to countercharge, unfortunate. Okay, so you need to just use this cover and swing. Like, you just need to get behind this where you can swing into the monkey, because then you have cover against these things, so there's only one sight line open on you while you're swinging into the monkey and maybe the Reinhardt. Yeah, you couldn't follow, though, because there was the crate, obviously.
Heroes never die. I'm under attack.
Your Sigma on defense. Yeah, okay. I knew when I took a couple jumps through the video that I saw some Sigma somewhere. Temp, why weren't you on the EXC panel? The EXC panel. Was that, I don't know what that was. Oh, the experimental patch panel? Is that what you're talking about? Probably haven't been at the content thing long enough for them to be paying attention. And they, I'm not a big enough personality yet. Like, I'm certainly known in the pro world. I'm known in the contenders world, but I some of the people that were on that are in the 200,000, 600,000, etc. subscribers on YouTube. If we're looking at that metric, I'm not there yet. My content is a little more niche, but we're growing. We're growing. That said, I don't think anyone serious is terribly happy with what came out, and I think they sort of blew their chance. I think there was a chance to prove to the community and to the world that, hey, some of these smart content creators who actually know the game are able to do a good job of balancing, and they should be trusted, and their advice should be listened to more. And I think they just shot themselves in the foot with trying to make too many changes that were too big. You have to make changes that work out okay so that you get trusted to make them again, and they just didn't do that, so whatever. Would it help to go left room to clear space when enemy D is pushed up so far? You could. They're probably going to rotate and deal with this, but honestly, this still isn't that bad. Like, this isn't a, oh, we can't handle it thing. This is a mistakes are being made thing. Like, reaching out too far to go here, not clearing the McCree over here. Like, this isn't some unbreakable defense. Yeah, you could go, hey, we're going to go through here, but I don't particularly love that more. With our setup right now, we can just let Tracer take left, and Tracer pushing the flank will be enough by itself to let our team come in. Or we can push the team through here because we have the Reaper, and then our Tracer will push mid. So this isn't particularly hard to clear. We could rotate left, but the rotation isn't the issue. This isn't great, though. We're down 2 people. We're down 3 people. Why are we even here giving them shield? Why are we here? There's no reason to be here. They're much more likely to get an elimination in this 3v6 than you are in this 3v6. And if they get an elimination, that just staggers. Oh, sorry, we're at 10 seconds left. I got too distracted talking about the content stuff. You have to be pushing. Never mind. You're fine. This is junk time. Yeah, no, I know, D-Mill. I'm on a different cycle than you. Or I got distracted, and by the time you typed that, I'm probably 3 seconds ahead or whatever.
Round 3 complete. Initiating match.
Okay, let's go a bit further here, and now we see some Sigma. Works for me.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
We need a moment to ensure all our equations are correct.
We could play from here. I really would prefer to hold the power position on Sigma over here. Who's your tank partner? Your tank partner is Zarya. I'd prefer you start up here holding the power position, but you're sort of forced into main tank status, so I'll live with this.
5, 4, 3, 2.
You and Zarya are on the same angle. Do not like.
Defend objective A.
Fine.
Activating the barrier.
Okay. You know this is about to end, so close the angle.
Barrier won't hold together.
Drop it immediately. I don't know why you'd throw your barrier back out here. Like, yes, I know you have a bastion and such, but your shift was over, and now you just closed the angle. You know when your shift ends. You know how long it lasts. When he's doing the, okay, now I'm converting it thing, you just close the angle. You don't need to throw your barrier out here to take 500 extra damage.
The barrier no longer exists. Barrier's about to break.
Yeah, no need for that.
What's that equation again?
You don't have any defensives. Why are you still out here? Like, you can't use your barrier yet, and you don't have shift. And you don't have cover that you can drift bind. With Sigma, you're really looking to go, I fire 2 shots, I'm behind cover. I fire 2 shots, I'm behind cover. I fire 2 shots, I throw up my barrier to soak a little. I fire 2 more shots, I pull down my barriers, I retreat behind cover. I fire 2 shots, I'm behind cover. Like, that's a rotation that you're effectively looking for in Sigma. I know you're trying to play it a little bit differently to enable your Bastion, but forget it. Like, your Bastion will play where he needs to. He'll adjust. You can't just be like a Rein for your. You can't just be an old school Orisa or a Rein for your Bastion where you just stand there to absorb everything while your Bastion shoots. Sigma simply doesn't have enough durability for that. And now you pull it down. That was a better use of barrier, though. You deployed your barrier to let you stay in to try to get the finish. And now you pull it down. Please. Please. I don't know why you deployed your barrier here at all, to be honest. Remember, when your barrier's out, if it's not protecting you and it's missing health, that's just time that it could be regaining health. That's bad. Yeah, it has 233 health. It could have easily had 400 health with that deploy.
Observe the barrier.
Okay.
Entry application.
I mean, that wasn't really a good shift. That was just a barrier recall, go behind cover, or a barrier recall and duck as you back up so that he can't hit you. You don't want to spend your shift on this. Okay.
60 seconds.
This is better, yeah. Positioning wise, anyways. Pull it back. You're not taking enough damage to justify these shifts up here. You want to pop your shift when either you see the projectiles already coming at you, and meaningful projectiles, I don't mean a single Zen orb. When you see the projectiles coming at you, or when you're taking damage and you have a reasonable expectation to continue taking damage. Not you took 20 damage, you took 60 damage, but like damage is chunking at you and you expect to continue to take damage. That's when we use our shift. It's very similar to a personal bubble on Zarya.
Heroes never die.
Good. Pull it back. Leave, leave, leave. Please leave. Oh shoot. You're doomed. They should run you over. I know there's a Bastion behind you, but that was... They should have just, like, immediately dropped and take Uni out right here and then rotated back here out of the Bastion's line of sight. Okay.
30 seconds.
It's barrier in place.
Okay.
My barrier.
Good. I'll walk up and melee him.
10 seconds.
Recall it. That barrier's doing nothing for you. You needed to recall it ages ago so that you'd have it to redeploy right now. No flux? Okay. Ouch.
Fire at will.
Pull down the barrier. You need to keep in mind that your barrier has a deploy cooldown. So if you're not getting good value out of it, or if the value you're getting out of it is kind of meh, you want to pull it down because there might be something important you need to block later. And you can't block it if you haven't had it recalled for, 2 seconds now? So you need to have had it recalled for 2 seconds before you can redeploy. So if it's not getting good value, you want to pull it back so that you can potentially redeploy it on something important, like a sleep dart, a flash, widow that is aimed, something like that. Or you want it to be recovering health so that you can use it for generic, some generic damage later if it's only serving a minor purpose right now. Okay. So we saw much more Reinhardt, so we'll talk about Reinhardt first. For Reinhardt, your biggest things to improve on, and I want you to work on these one at a time. So you pick one, you work on it one at a time, and then once you've played 5 games, 10 games, 30 games, 2 days, a week, 2 weeks, however long it takes for you personally to sort of internalize and make this change to your gameplay a habit, that's what you're going to do before you move on to the next thing. And if you I think I got it on the first thing, and you move on to the next thing, and then the first thing starts to get worse, doesn't get like 10% worse, but starts to fall off quite a bit to 30% worse, 40% worse than when you were really focusing on it, you stop working on the second thing, and you go back to working on the first thing. And this first thing that I'm going to give you is your corner holding / barrier management, where on your Reinhardt, you do too much of this firing platform stuff, where you stand here, or you stand here even, where you're behind the corner, and then you stick your shield out for your team to use. Forget it. Forget it. I do not want you to think of Rein as this big team player, etc. I'm serious. I want you to think of Rein's shield as this. I use this to get from cover I want to use to new cover I want to use. To get from cover I want to use to the enemy team that I want to swing at. To stabilize mid-fight because I'm missing a bunch of health and I want to stabilize while my Ana, my Bap, my Moira, whatever heals me, my Zen, whatever heals me back up, and then I'll go back to swinging. Or I want to use it to go, hey, I put my barrier up to get back to new cover. You don't do Rein dances in the open. That's not a thing you do. You don't do Rein dances of, I'm not sure if I go over here for the McCree, over here for the Reinhardt. None of this Rein dance stuff. You're decisive when you put your barrier up. When you put your barrier up, most of the time, it should be to get to a new place. And that should be decisive. That should not be decision. That should not be, I don't know where I'm going. Sometimes new information comes in and you were going here and now you're going here, and that's fine. But it needs to be decisive when you put your barrier up. Your barrier is lasting way longer in this match than it will, in a lot of other matches, but especially as you go up. Like, people's damage, people's uptime is going to be better. Your barrier is going to feel a lot more paper thin than it is. So I'm really trying to save you future pain with some of your indecision stuff. It's got to be, I'm not pre-giving barrier. I'm not doing any of that nonsense. I'm here enforcing my corner, and now I'm ready to go. So I go. Now I'm ready to go. Oh, something changed as I was going this way. Okay, I'm going this way now. That's fine, but you can't have given away a third, 400 HP, half of your barrier before you go. Same thing on defense. It can't be a case of, I'm here, I've given away 600 HP, 800 HP on my barrier before they've even gotten here. No, you want your full barrier available, or as much as realistic, so that when you're swinging, when you're doing this fight, if you fall behind in the fight, you can put your shield up to make it so that you stabilize, so that the only person on the other team can hurt you is Reinhardt, while your support gets you back up, gets you back into the fight. That's how you're using your barrier. That's really important for your sustainability, for you hitting good rotations, for you being able to get to places without being missing 200-300 health, without being missing other players, all that jazz. The other thing that's going to be big for you is your fire strikes, where I want these corner fire strikes. Again, you peek a corner, you throw your fire strike, you unpeek it. You hold a corner and you swing. Or, hey, you're swinging on 200 HP hero. You go swing, swing. So you go, let's see, let me do this from the right direction. You go swing, and you can swing your camera. You do swing, you swing your camera again, so that as the hammer is coming from this side, you get them with the first part of it. And then you swing your camera back and cancel into the fire strike. So you cancel into the fire strike, swing your camera back to like this, and you go through the hero. That's fine. You can also throw your fire strike through a window in the open. That's going to be acceptable because even though it opens you up to all the same vulnerabilities, you could get pinned, you could get shattered, you could get discorded, you could get double headshot, you could get all these things that can happen. The offensive potential of the window is so high that you go, okay, I'm willing to do it type stuff. So those are going to be your two major things for Reinhardt. There's more things that we could talk about. We could talk, we talked a little about the pin, but I don't want to talk about that much because it was a reasonable pin. I'm not going to go further than that there. There's more we could talk about in terms of some of the corner stuff, but I think we've actually covered that pretty well with the shield management. But remember, you do want these corners. You do want to be, hey, I'm here. Or if your Mei's here, you go, hey, I'm going to hold this corner or this corner to drag attention this way away from her. But these corners are absolutely your friend for enforcing, for playing Reinhardt. And you're mostly thinking, hey, I'm going to go from corner to a new corner. And maybe I use my barrier for that. To new corner. Maybe I use my barrier for that. That's how I want you thinking about playing Reinhardt. That's going to do it for Reinhardt. For Sigma, these were some bad shifts up here. These were good shifts down here, but these were good shifts because they were when lots of damage. You could see the damage coming. The damage had previously been going on your bear. There was lots of damage coming. You pressed shift. Here it was like, I've recalled my bear, so it's time to press shift. No, there's like one person looking at you, and they're only half looking at you. Like, that's not what your shift is for. Your shift is mostly going to see its best use, honestly, when you're covering rotations. When you're going, hey, we're rotating from here. So let's say you're on offense, for example. We're rotating from here up to here. Maybe you're going to pop your shift to cover that rotation because you're going to get shot at in that rotation. But you don't pop it before you take damage. You pop it when they actually start shooting at you. And you can do the same thing here. Shift, and I'm going to end my shift behind cover. I didn't like that you used the shift here and you just ended the shift here with no barrier up. So like, remember, when your shift is over, you should have cover that you can pretty quickly get behind. Want you to be aware of that. Barrier use in general, it was okay. Would prefer the off-angling here as opposed to playing here, but you had a Bastion and that changes stuff a little. Did we see Flux? We only saw one Flux. You got interrupted by a sleep dart that came from a different direction. I think that's going to cover it. So for Reinhardt, I want you thinking about your barriers for you. You're holding corners, and again, your fire strikes are from corners. So those are three different topics that you can think of. You could think of them as two if you want, and I want you to pick one and work on it, just that one, for 5 games, for 10 games, for 30 games, whatever it takes until that really sticks, and not just sticks like you understand it, but your reactions, your body understands it. It actually happens in your play sort of automatically, which frees you up to use your brain power on more tactical things, or in this case, to use that 10 to 15% brain power on learning the next thing, which might be your fire strikes, or might be how to adjust your Sigma shift use, etc. Okay, if there's any questions, throw them up in chat now. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps me out quite a bit. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what my rates look like, see what sort of promos, events we have coming up, all that good stuff. So let's take a look here and see what we have. Hog VOD submitted in the Discord, fine. We talked about Hanamura Point 1. I don't care. Blah's having it, or someone's talking about blah. I mean, people do works. The adult world lets you have whatever schedule you want if you find the right job. That's just a weird comment. Okay, but that's fine. People will figure it out. Look at me. I'm on YouTube right now at all hours of the day. Example A. Anyways, point where I received about fire strikes. We talked about the experimental stuff. Ooh, clear space. We talked that. Who do I think is the weakest main tank at the moment? Ooh. That's a good question. Let me think about my options. So I've got Rein, who is not the weakest right now. He's probably the strongest right now. I've got Ball. I've got Winston. And I've got Orisa. Hmm. That's a tough call. I think Ryan is probably the strongest right now. Winston is probably a bit of a sleeper pick right now who's just waiting for something else to go right before we discover he's meta and he's overwhelmingly powerful. So I don't want to say him. Ball is not yet in that state where he's a throw pick, but those nerfs have added up on him. He's not in the state where he's a throw pick, though, and he does tend to be a sink or swim hero. So probably not him, which almost forces me to pick Orisa, but do I think that's right? It might be. Probably Orisa. I don't love committing to that answer. I think the main tanks are in a pretty good place right now, to be honest. I don't love how hard hit Ball was hit, but I understand it. Kind of like Doomfist, where it's a sink or swim hero, and if they go any harder, he's going to sink, but because he's swimming right now, it's going to feel bad for people that are playing against him. Probably Orisa, but I don't love that pick because I don't think she's particularly weak. I think her barrier could use another 50 to 100 health or maybe a second off its cooldown or something, but they're worried about barrier watch. Okay. What about shift versus shield for rotations? Is there a priority for Sigma? Generally, you're going to use your shift because you're moving, as your shield doesn't move very well, and you don't want your shield deployed for long amounts of time. Your shield really is mostly I block a specific ability or two. I block blind damage as I peek a corner. It's hard to keep your shield out for the amount of time that you want it to cover rotation. Usually, you're going to use shift rather than your shield for rotation coverings. As Reinhardt, when you are holding a corner and the enemy team swing wide as a unit, is that just time to kite? No, it's just an advantage for your team. So let's say you've set your team up, sort of how in the last round when he was on, or in his last attack round when the enemy team was defending, remember how they were sort of spread out like this, and his team was trying to push through this choke? Let's pretend that the other Reinhardt is just holding here, and let's pretend that he's got his backline with him. If he pushes in and goes, I'm going to turn and fight the Reinhardt, he can do that. Your backline cannot interact with the Reinhardt until your backline pushes up here and goes with him. Whereas your Reinhardt, his entire backline can interact with because they have nice angles on, etc. So you go, okay, well, that sucks. So let's say you instead go, their Reinhardt is here, so my backline is going to advance with me, and I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to swing wide and rotate like this as a backline and with my Reinhardt. Okay, you can do that, but it is a still shield advantage, a pressure advantage for the defending team, because they were able to shoot at you the whole time that you were doing this rotation. Let's pretend that the defenders were set up more like this, and we do a wide swing, they're going to be able to, even by the nature of us doing this rotation, the defending team is going to get a little bit of an advantage in terms of they get to shoot at our shield, get to shoot at us as we're rotating with a better concave and sooner than we get to shoot at them. Because our Reinhardt, even if we're rotating like this, is relative to the opponent a little bit in front. So this is a better way to break the choke, to go, hey, we'll rotate like this. But it's still an advantage for the defending team. And of course, on this small of a choke, the Reinhardt is going to push in and get to swing into 4 or 5 people, and that's going to suck. Whereas if your Reinhardt swings, he's only going to get 1 or 2 people. So that becomes a problem. Hope that answered that. Let me get to a Reinhardt clip here since this was a Reinhardt game.
Remaining.
Fine. Okay. Daily meditation. Do I ever do map-specific guides? Yeah, I did a Gibraltar map-specific guide. It was ages ago, like year and a half, 2 years ago, and I'll probably end up doing more map-specific guides. The thing is, even if you do map-specific guides, it's hard not to anchor them a little bit to the meta or recent metas because things do change. My Gibraltar one, it was very hard at that time to do a Gibraltar guide that did not revolve around Widowmaker because Gibraltar revolved around Widowmaker, and that's still kind of true. But yes, I do that. Ball seems like he's always a ranked carry pick if you're good at him. That's true. I thought my Orisa was the strongest right now. Ball does feels worse at the moment. Yeah, Ball might be my next choice. If I can't pick Orisa, I'd probably have to pick Ball as the pick that isn't good. But the problem is I don't think Ball is yet in that trash tier area, and he's close. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Um, Ball doesn't feel good. I agree with that, and people have certainly told me as much. Do you think Sigma's balance is in a good or bad position right now? I don't know yet. I know that the change came through on the barrier, and that feels a bit better, but I don't know yet. I actually want to see more of how things work out with that. He might be in a fine place. I'm really going to need more experimenting than I've had to have a good answer on that. But I liked the adjustment. I think the adjustment of splitting the difference was the right thing to try. Cool, thanks. Okay, looks like that covers it. I'm going to take a break now, but I'm glad that you guys have been here, and I will try to do more. I expect I should be doing more of this evening. Thanks, guys. Temporal out.